Being chased by a murderous maniac is not a fun way to live your life, but what happens when this lifelong enemy suddenly drops dead? With Sideshow Bob finally departing from the world, Bart has to face the void left by his nemesis.
Farewell, Sideshow Bob!
Hey look, some magician dude is using a piece of cloth to make the iconic Simpsons couch appear, and now he uses the same cloth to make the family appear on the couch. Nice! The story begins with Bart and Homer heading to the mall where Moe is already grappling with his newest purchase on the front door. But instead of letting a low-wage employee help him secure his new TV, Moe is determined to do things in his own way, which ends up with the new TV shattering into smithereens.
I'm a Moe didn't raise no fools. Yes.
Meanwhile, inside the store, Homer warns Bart not to get distracted by the shady discounts and shiny new devices. They are only supposed to get a simple camera battery, and on the way, Homer rejects an offer for a car stereo, camcorder, and even an invitation to bed by a female employee.
Battery, battery, battery!
Homer is determined to not get fooled today, and when they finally reach the aisle, Homer picks up the worst battery possible and heads to the cashier. However, the woes of capitalism never end, and the employee at the cash register tells Homer that he can get the battery for free. That is, if he purchases a $200 TiVo set. Homer doesn't even hesitate to think about this horrible offer and accepts it.
Sold! Sucker.
He is actually proud that he got the battery for free, while completely ignoring the trap he just fell into. Later on, Lisa sets up the TiVo for the family, and the entire time Homer is anxious because the TV is his lifeline, and it has been closed off for 5 grueling minutes.
Lisa, the TV's been off for 5 whole minutes.
Lisa finally installs the TiVo, and the family gather around to watch a gruesome episode of Itchy and Scratchy. The Tom and Jerry knockoff depicts the crafty rat blowing up Scratchy the cat like a balloon, and as the cat floats away, Itchy prepares to light him up on fire. But before the conclusion can be reached, Krusty the Clown interrupts the program to leave the audience with 10 useless commercials. But this is where the TiVo comes in, because it allows the Simpsons to skip the commercials. Lisa flips through all of the commercials as the family stare and snicker in awe. The show continues, and as expected, Scratchy gets blown into pieces, leaving guts and gore everywhere.
Oh, the hilarity!
Marge is completely in love with the TiVo, and she continues to watch her favourite shows with a built-in ad blocker. This time, she watches Opal, an Oprah knockoff, and blitzes through all of the commercials and even the awkward laughing tracks.
I think I'll speed through the cheering.
During dinner, Marge can only talk about the TiVo and how amazing it is. She has saved so much time and watched so much content. But later at night, as Marge sleeps in front of the TV, it speaks to her, the face of TV personality. Keith Olbermann appears on the screen and tells Marge how horrible she has been.
Content burglar Marge Simpson.
Apparently, skipping commercials makes Marge the worst person in the world. Wow. Marge doesn't even question this hallucination and tries to defend herself, but Keith tells her that without the ad money, he will start to look like a heinous monster. Marge stays up all night watching commercials, and now she's lost her mind for good. She is swayed by all of the commercials, and they all seem like good ideas to her.
Honoring America's advertisers.
The family come across another convincing commercial in which a country bumpkin introduces a restaurant where they offer ribs, plain noodles with butter and tofu. Homer only had to listen to the word ribs to be convinced, but surprisingly, the entire family is on board with going to the grand opening of this restaurant. Everyone excitedly hops into the car, singing the entire way. But once they reach this shady eatery, they find it completely empty. The entire place seems sketchy, and soon the Simpsons find themselves trapped within this clearly fake restaurant. The proprietor of the place walks in, and Homer thinks the guy is going to serve him food.
Finally, some service.
But little do they know, the commercial was a trick designed by Sideshow Bob to lure out the Simpsons family.
Sideshow Bob!
Sideshow Bob pulls out his gun, making the family completely terrified. He ties them up, and somehow Homer is still convinced that somewhere in this scheme, he will get his promised ribs. But Sideshow Bob begins his pity party and shows the family a slideshow of everything that he has been up to since the last time they met. Apparently, Sideshow Bob had quite the adventure in England with his family, but during the entire time, he was plotting his revenge. Now, Sideshow Bob reveals how he has planned for a laptop to explode on top of a crate of TNT. And before leaving, he recites some Shakespeare to further add insult to injury. But Lisa,
Yeah, we've all been to England.
being the smartass that she is, corrects Sideshow Bob, even while facing impending doom. She tells Sideshow Bob to look up a scene from Macbeth, which causes the lunatic to use the defective laptop.
On Wikipedia. Load, you unwieldy behemoth.
Of course, the device explodes while Sideshow Bob is using it, and all of his plans fall apart. The police and media are all over the case and arrest Sideshow Bob for attempting murder yet again.
Sideshow Bob is in custody again.
The following day, a trial ensues where Sideshow Bob defends himself in court and blames Bart for causing his insanity. Sideshow Bob's parents are also present, and Lisa recognizes his mother, Dame Judith, as a great classical actress.
My son is on trial for his life.
So just answer quick.
Bob's father defends his son and talks about his pitiful childhood. The jury starts feeling sorry for Sideshow Bob, and Bart tries to intervene.
Stop feeling sorry for him.
He can't believe that the man who tried to kill a child countless of times is actually garnering sympathy. But Sideshow Bob uses Bart's antics to his advantage, and even the jury speaks up against Bart, and the countless times he played a cruel trick on them. Even Homer speaks out against his own son.
He cheats at Uno!
Bart continues exposing Sideshow Bob, which causes the maniac to pull out a substance called nitroglycerin. Everyone starts to panic, which urges Bart to take the tube from Sideshow Bob and throw it away.
Yoink! Foiled again, freak.
Turns out, this substance was actually medicine for Sideshow Bob's heart condition. A doctor declares the psycho dead, and Bart is blamed for the entire thing.
Ooh, gross. I'm touching a dead guy.
Now, Sideshow Bob is considered a legendary hero. His funeral is televised, and everyone pays their respect as Krusty sings a sappy song in the background, as everyone he was related to pays respect. Krusty's serenade includes a convenient endorsement for a DVD collection of Sideshow Bob's best moments.
Ought to buy this DVD.
Krusty breaks down crying, and then the Simpsons enter, making the matter worse. Marge tells Bart to look sad, but the boy doesn't want to feel bad for his killer. Even Homer is indifferent, and his crude words echo throughout the hallowed halls of the church.
I still can't stand him.
Bart runs into Sideshow Bob's brother, Cecil, also seems to hate his brother, but he tells Bart that he should make his peace and pay respect to Sideshow Bob before he is cremated. Bart, now determined to do good, decides to see Sideshow Bob one last time.
Well, I guess I could say goodbye.
On the way, he runs into Milhouse and explains the entire ordeal to his friend. As Bart makes his move, Milhouse informs Lisa and Marge about Bart's whereabouts.
Feet. Killing?
Lisa goes into a frenzy and declares that they must save Bart no matter what. Meanwhile, Bart speaks to Sideshow Bob's corpse and apologizes for being a jerk. But it turns out that Sideshow Bob is not really dead. He springs up from his coffin and terrorizes Bart once more. The maniac flings Bart up and places him inside the coffin, which is about to be cremated. At the same time, Lisa drops an exposition dump and explains the entire plan. Apparently, Sideshow Bob's parents were in on the plot and helped their mentally disturbed son fulfill his dream of killing a small child.
Every member of his family played a part.
Are you done? Because I've been circling the funeral home for 10 minutes.
Yes.
Bart tries to fool Sideshow Bob into letting him, but it's of no use. Sideshow Bob's entire family also shows up to celebrate the death of Bart Simpson and how everyone will think he is dead so he can be free with his family. But Lisa and the others arrive just in time to put an end to this madness.
Stop that cremation!
Sideshow Bob tries to increase the speed up the coffin towards the fire, but Homer stops him and they save Bart.
Marge, he's got to get over his fear of coffins.
Bart reunites with his family, and the police arrest the maniacal killer once more.
Freeze, Sideshow snobs.
Lisa explains that she figured out the plot when she realized that the coffin was built with extra room for Sideshow Bob's humongous feet, which is pointless if he was really dead.
Damn these glorious gunboats.
Before leaving, Bart leaves his lifelong nemesis with one final zinger, causing the man to delve further into his insanity.
You stink like my butt!
After some time, the family gathers around to celebrate the end of Sideshow Bob's murderous spree by having some cake. But Sideshow Bob jumps out of the cake, slashing away at the family. Turns out this is just a delusion Sideshow Bob is having while rotting away in prison with his equally deranged family.
There he goes again.
You have 87 years to get used to it, Father.
It was fun to watch Bart survive Sideshow Bob's many attempts, but can he survive food addiction and obesity? So if you want to see what happens when Bart gets really fat, click on this video, but not before you like and subscribe.